Hi, I'm Ron. I'm the owner of Mobile Fix Automotive, and today I'm going to see if I can help you guys locate a problem that I came across on this 2002 Ford Explorer. This Explorer just happens to be in our family. It belongs to my son Justin, who's actually shooting the video. He's done other videos before. Say hi, Justin.
Hello.
And so this problem has been plaguing us since we purchased this vehicle used. Right now, where we're at, we're kind of in a city called Murrieta, which is between San Diego and Los Angeles, about the halfway point. And we're a little inland, so temperatures here get really hot. We've been averaging between 100 and 115 degrees over the last 2 weeks. And normally his complaint about his air conditioning, he's been able to deal with it, but the last couple of weeks have been pretty unbearable. And so what's happening with his vehicle, what Justin's been complaining about with this since he got the vehicle, is the air conditioning blows cold. We don't have a problem with the functionality of the actual AC system. His main complaint is that there's very little air volume coming out of the dashboard. So he runs the rear air conditioning as his primary air conditioning because it actually cools the truck better than the front dash does. So where we're at, once again, I think I already said it's a 2002 Explorer. This is a two-wheel drive. It's an XLT. The only thing that's really upgraded on this is this has the V8. It's got a 4.6 two-valve Triton in it, which is not going to affect this, but just to give you an idea what options are in the vehicle. I'm going to explain to you what this is doing. I'm going to walk around here real quick. Okay, so we have an air volume problem coming out of the dash on this, and this particular vehicle, I have already figured out that there's hocus pocus underneath the dashboard. It's not stock. It's been messed with mechanically before underneath the dashboard. I know that because there's pieces missing that are supposed to be there, and there are pieces that are broken that normally don't just break on their own. So where I'm going with all of this is if you have an Explorer, the Mercury Mountaineer runs the same exact chassis. I know even though vehicles are different, I do this. What broke on this is something that breaks on the Dodge Ram 1500s because I've done quite a few of those. This one threw me off because I hadn't seen this on a Ford Explorer yet, but I find it hard to believe that Justin's truck is the only one that's had this particular failure. So come on over here and we're going to look at this. This is what I call, I don't know if you can step back and get this whole assembly. This assembly right here that I ordered from LKQ is what's called an HVAC box to me, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning box. And it houses both your air conditioning evaporative core and your heater core. It's also responsible for your air inlet, your fan, which is under here, which blows your air and does all of that good stuff. So go ahead and come on in a little bit tighter, Justin. So one of the pieces, unfortunately, that's missing from this equation, because it's not part of this box, let's just assume for a second, I don't want that to fall off. I can't move that the other way around because the welder's in the way, but basically, when this is bolted into the vehicle, this is underneath the dashboard, so you have to pull the dash to get this out. You guys and gals that are watching this video would be standing in what would be the engine compartment. So I'm trying to give you an orientation of how this thing sits. This is the top of the box, so this is up. So where I would be right now is I would be sitting in the passenger seat. So I'm kind of giving you an orientation of how this box is laid out. Now, an interesting thing with air conditioning, even though this is not really an air conditioning video that I want to share with you, is max air. Everybody has it in their car, but a lot of people don't even understand what max air is, and because this is out, it's really easy to explain it, so I want to explain that real quick. So max air is, you have to have, for your fan, you have to have an inlet and you have to have an outlet. So on a fan, the air that's being sucked in is your inlet and the air being pushed out is your outlet. Okay, you're with me on that. Well, in a vehicle, there's two different places that your air conditioning system or your heating system can receive its air from. It's either going to get it from underneath the hood, underneath the windshield wiper cowl area, which is outside air, or when you have it on max, it turns a valve, a flapper, that shuts off the outside air and allows air to recirculate from inside the vehicle itself. When you're running air conditioning on a hot day, you always want to be on max, and I'm going to explain to you why. It doesn't make any sense on a 114 degree day or 100 degree day or whatever it is. It doesn't make any sense to suck air temperature that's 105 degrees, whatever it is, and try to cool that down to 47 or 57 degrees. So what's going to happen is this little vacuum diaphragm, okay, will receive a signal when you go into max air. All right, you're going to want to be over here and not looking at my face for a second. So when you turn your selector switch on your dashboard to max, this is going to suck down. You're going to get vacuum to this hose. This is going to suck down, which is going to pull down on this. And this is what I want to show you. I'm going to take this off. I unbolted it already. So you see this flapper valve? Can you get that, Justin? Okay, there's a block off plate right here because right now it's on max air, which means it's sucking through this side, which is underneath the dashboard. When it defaults to its normal position, did you see the door move? See how the door is closed? When it defaults to its normal position and now it's blocking this side off, it's sucking its air through. Now you can see that you can't see, well, you can tell that you can't see air through here. This is your fresh air side. So on your air conditioning, you always want to make sure when you're running AC that you're on max, because what it's doing is it's taking the air that you've already cooled down inside your car, resending it through the box to get cooled again, and that's how come max air is maximum, because it's actually being more efficient. You're not cooling fresh, hot air. Well, what's happened to his car, and there's two broken pieces in his car. One of them is not really affecting his condition a lot. The other one is affecting it a lot, a huge amount. So, trying not to ramble. Somebody pulled up in front of the shop. So I've already got this unbolted, and I'm gonna lift this up and show you basically what we have. So this is your fan. When you turn your car on, this will spin and it sucks air down into here. That's your inlet. And then it pushes air through the box and out, whether it's through your vents or down through your floor or wherever it's gonna go. Well, what's happened on Justin's car that I have ascertained is, this is actually multiple pieces. So you have this piece which sits here. Okay, so it's got a little screen to keep leaves and stuff supposedly from going into the fan blade. So this piece here, this is the inside view of that flapper valve. So if you didn't understand what I was talking about, where it blocks air from one side or the other, it's simply one side's underneath the hood of your car, fresh air. The other side is underneath your dashboard, same air that you've had in the car the whole time. On Justin's, this door has broken off in the box entirely, and it has fallen down and it is sitting on top of his fan and blocking the air inlet. And so what we're going to do here in just a second is, now that I've explained all of this to you, for those of you that are sticking with the video, I'm going to have Justin get in his driver's seat. We're going to start his car up because right now we haven't done any repair to it. I've got a meter that is going to show how fast the air is coming out of the dashboard, and we're going to test it together and how much airflow it has. And then I am going to try, and hopefully I can stitch the video together and make this work. But what I am going to try to do is I'm going to go underneath his dashboard. I'm going to pull his glove compartment. Oh, his glove compartment's already open. I'm going to try to take out the forward bolts around this housing, and I'm going to try to pry this up with a pry bar and reach in there and pull that door out and throw it in the trash can because it's broken, you can't use it. And that's going to allow him to get full airflow into the box and out of his vents. Now, the only downfall to not fixing it and just pulling it out is that he's going to be sucking air from both the inside of the cab and the outside. Now, the only time that's going to be effective or it's going to affect anything is that he's going to be cooling both fresh air and hot air from outside the vehicle. But he should theoretically have full air volume. And then when we restart the video and we re-look at that meter together, the numbers on that meter should be blowing harder. And then that's basically what we're looking at right now. So for those of you that may have an airflow problem out your dashboard, there is a blend door, and I'm going to mention this right now. There is a blend door, an air diversion door that will, when the vehicle's in the off position, they automatically default to defroster, which is when it blows air up on the windshield. That's actually a built-in safety mechanism from the manufacturers, because defrosting your windshield is actually a safety issue. Not so much cooling or heating yourself down, but if you live, we're in California, we don't do a lot of defroster. I mean, we do, but it's not mandatory. Back east, I would assume that the defroster is a huge issue because of the temperature changes. But that's why it defaults to the windshield, is because at least if something happens and the vacuum isn't working, you have your defroster. That's what that's all about. So I'm going to go ahead and let Justin pause the video and climb into the vehicle. We're going to walk through what's going on the inside, do the test real quick, and then I'm going to try to dig that part out, and we'll see whether or not it actually makes any difference. Well, I want you to hit me, and then we'll zoom in. All right, so now we're inside the vehicle, and I have what is called an anemometer. And since it's such a hard name to say, I just say it's a wind detector. And this is a cool little device. If you watch this screen, I will blow on it. And it basically tells you how fast the air is going through. So what we're going to do right now, as I promised, is we're going to start the vehicle up. And I'm going to put this in front of the air vent. And it's going to tell us how much air velocity is coming out of the vent. So. All right, now you're going to hear a lot of noise in the background because of the fan. We have 4.0, 4.1 coming out of the left side, and we have 2.5 coming out of the right side. So we actually have almost twice as much airflow coming from the left vent as we do from the right vent. Oh, except it's down there. I think that has to do with the there we go. Find a good happy spot. Let's say that we're going to average about 3.4. And 2.5, 3.4, 2.5. So let me go ahead and pull that piece out, but before he pauses the video, I'm going to shut this off real quick. See if we can go underneath this dashboard. And real quick, I'm going to turn off the backlight and see if the flashlight's any better. Cameraman, does it look better with the flashlight, or does it look better with the backlight? Okay, so that part that we were referring to that has the flap in it is up right here. So this is the blower assembly, and then this is the housing that houses the fresh air max vent blend door. And the part that actually controls where the air goes up and down is actually in the center of the dash right here, and that's the part that broke, that deflects up and down. And basically all I did on that, the little cam lever was busted off halfway, so I basically took a screw and just screwed it in at the halfway point so that it still moves. It needs to be fixed, but we have to pull the dashboard completely out of this to fix this problem. What I'm doing right now is helping you guys, if you have an airflow problem, to just figure out whether or not this is what your problem is with your air not coming out of your dash. So I'm going to go ahead and let Justin pause it. If you want to come back under here real quick, Justin, I'm going to show him. There is, I don't know if you can see it, but there's this screw, this screw, this screw, this screw, and that screw there. And then there's supposed to be one going from the bottom up on a metal bracket that you probably saw on the unit out there. Unfortunately, somebody's already monkeyed with this thing, and it no longer has that piece in there. That metal piece crossover is gone. So somebody's probably already tried to figure out what's going on, and that's where we're at. So let me see if I can successfully get this panel out, and then we'll recheck the airflow and see if that works. So go ahead and pause it. Okay, so I'm back on right now because I just found out something pretty cool that I didn't even know, and I'm not sure if your vehicle's going to have this or not, but it turns out I don't have to pry this up. When I unbolted the front bolts, there's a flap that opens up and I can get in there and get that piece out. So I'd like to show you what I'm going to do to pull this broken door part out of it. So right here, this is the flap. All right, I took this bolt and this bolt right here out, and this flap opened up, and when I stick my fingers in there, there's that door that's broken. It's just sitting on top of the air. So you're doing okay right there, right, Jess? Okay, so I'm gonna give you additional light. I'm gonna take a poker and I'm gonna reach up in here and see if I can get this thing to pull forward. There's the broken door. That's the piece that was sitting on top of the fan blocking all of the air. So, and there's the piece that's broken off right there. That's the part that's supposed to move the door. So, now that that's done, I'm going to put this back together. I'm going to get a couple of screws put back in it real quick so it'll stay in place. There they are. Whoops. Fighting with the light. All right, so theoretically, right now, when we start it back up, I should have way better airflow out of the dashboard. Oh, wow. You can put your hand there. All right, let's see where we're at now. Now we're up to 4.5 out of the right side, and we're up to 6.2, 6.1 out of the left side, and there is definitely a noticeable improvement. I should see a big smile on Justin's face because I can see his hair moving on top of his head. That didn't happen before. So once again, this is Ron, the owner of Mobile Fix, and if you have a 2002 era Ford Explorer or a Mercury Mountaineer, or like I said, I've seen this same problem on Dodge Ram 1500s in the 2000 and 2006 eras, but that one's fairly common. Those I know about. This one I wasn't expecting, but I'm pretty sure Justin's going to be really happy with the airflow coming out of the dashboard now, right, Justin? All right, so we'll see you on the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe the video, and I'll keep shooting these, especially for the Ford guys, because I know you guys want all the help you can get, and trying to help you out. And we'll go from there. Unfortunately, there's not going to be any parts to put in the link at the bottom of the video on this, and the dash will eventually have to come out, but we'll make a determination whether or not he actually wants to go through the trouble of fixing that, because this is a whole lot better. So, see you on the next video. Okay, so this is a bonus segment. I'm going to explain real quick exactly what happened. Justin asked me, and it's still a little confusing without showing the actual part. Since I have the housing, let's go through this together, shall we? So come on in here. So this is the door that was broken and fell down on top of the fan, and it goes inside of this housing right here. Okay, so we're going to pick this housing up, and you'll get to see this door open and close, open and close. Okay, so when we take the top half of this off and remove that housing that has the door in it, it leaves us this piece right here. Okay, so for Justin, who's standing behind the camera, And for those of you at home, this is what happened and why we doubled our air output out the dashboard. And Justin's question to me, for those of you that want to know why I'm doing this little bonus segment, Justin's question to me is if this thing blocked off the fan, how come he was getting some air? And that's a great question. Come on in here and let me show you why. When this door fell out of that box and dropped off down in here like this is what he ended up with. See this? He could suck air from right there, and he could suck air from right here. But what he couldn't do was he couldn't get full air suction. Why are you watching me and not this? They want to see this. I'm just kidding, but he wasn't able to get full air suction through this hole just because this thing had fallen like that. Doesn't matter which way it went, it's the same diameter, same width. So do you understand now, Justin, exactly what was going on? And that's why he had some airflow out the front, you know, the 4.0 that we were showing, and then automatically we went to 6.5, but on the right hand side he was only at 2.5, and it increased all the way up to 6.2, 6.3. So that's a little bonus segment. So that's what happened. So if you have a problem with the airflow coming out the dash, that's more than likely what it is. So once again, see you later. See you on the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.